Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Query Solution. So this is a flowchart through which I'm going to explain you the process of double circulation in just few minutes. No details here and there, you can check out other videos for that. But in this video we are going to understand the process of double circulation. And if you draw this in exam, you're definitely going to get full marks. Okay. Now, we do know that the process of double circulation happens through the lungs and in between your heart, right? So let us first of all name these four chambers of the heart, which are your left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium and the right ventricle. And we know the ground rule that blood will always flow from the atrium to the ventricle. Blood will never flow towards the backward direction, right? Now, we do know that the major organ responsible for making our blood oxygenated are your lungs, right? Because whenever we are inhaling, we are getting the oxygen in our lungs. And when the blood is coming in association or in contact with the lung, the blood actually becomes oxygenated. So here the red pipe that you can see or the red arrow that I have made is actually showing that the blood which is mixing with the lungs over here is becoming oxygenated, right? So it is a blood which is rich in oxygen or the oxygenated blood. Now this oxygenated blood will be carried by the pulmonary vein. So which veins are going to carry this oxygenated blood? Which are an exceptional vein known as the pulmonary vein. And these pulmonary vein are going to release all the secretion or all the blood in the left atrium or the first upper chamber or the left upper chamber of the heart, which is left atrium. From the left atrium, the blood would go to the left ventricles. From the left ventricles, the blood would go to the bigger blood vessel, which is known as aorta. From the aortas, it is going to go to a little few smaller vessels. Like aorta is a bigger vessel, a smaller vessel than aorta is something, and many in number are something which is known as the arteries. So blood is going to go to the arteries. Then these arteries are going to form capillary structure, and ultimately the blood is going to go to the different cells of our body. And we know what are cells going to do? So cells are going to do the process of respiration, or cells are going to do the process of assimilation. Either process they do, the oxygen that was coming through the blood after respiration is no more available because it has been utilized. The oxygen is utilized for oxidation of the food, and now there is another gas which is there over here at the cellular level, and that is carbon dioxide. So the blood is now going to mix with this carbon dioxide, and hence I have drawn this here with a blue color. Why? Because here your blood is having a rich concentration of CO2. It is your hemoglobin along with your blood. Here it was hemoglobin along with oxygen. And such a blood which has rich concentration of CO2 and a very less concentration of oxygen is something which is known as the deoxygenated blood. So this deoxygenated blood will now go through different veins in our body and finally through the structures which are known as VENA, CAVA. Being the superior and the inferior, they will collect all the bloods from all the body parts, all the body organs that we have. Superior will collect from the ones which are above the heart. Inferior will collect the deoxygenated blood which are below the heart. And after collecting the blood from the vena cava, they are again going to pour it in the right chamber of the heart and the right upper chamber, which is the right atrium. From the right atrium, again as the rule says, the blood will go to the right ventricle, and then again from the right ventricle the blood will go through another exceptional important blood vessel which is known as your pulmonary artery. So these are your another exceptional sets of blood vessels, pulmonary artery, which will carry the blood from the right ventricle and it will send it back to the lungs again. Why is it sending back to the lung again? So that now the deoxygenated blood which is here can become oxygenated once again, because as the blood would go to the lungs, it will again get a rich supply of oxygen. The hemoglobin will combine with oxygen, and now the deoxygenated blood which was here has been transformed to the oxygenated blood. So just to give you a quick summary, from the lungs, the oxygenated blood through the pulmonary vein will go to the left upper chamber, which is left atrium, followed by left ventricle, then through the aortas, which are the bigger vessels, followed by the arteries, many in number, will go through the cells of our body through the capillaries. right? And then once these cells will perform respiration, here the oxygen will be utilized and CO2 will be given out. So the oxygen, the CO2, increased CO2 will now again be picked up by the hemoglobin component of the blood. Now the blood nature becoming deoxygenated through the veins, through the superior and inferior vena cava will go back to the heart, but now to the right chamber of the heart. So the right atrium followed by the right ventricle, through the right ventricle again through the pulmonary artery, and from the pulmonary artery it will go back to the lung. So in a way, if we see, this left side portion of the heart is responsible for transporting the oxygenated blood, and the right side of the heart is responsible for transporting the deoxygenated blood. So the blood is flowing twice through the heart, one in oxygenated form, one in deoxygenated form, and that is why the circulation in human is known as double circulation. So I hope I have made you clear what is double circulation is all about. You can find a detailed description video where you can find a link right now on the screen which is flashing. There I have explained entirely every minute detail regarding the blood and the human heart which you should know regarding to grade 10. So check out that video, and if you are liking this video, give a thumbs up and happy learning.